If there's any kids who want to come up. Oh, there's
We have.
Yay, one. Good morning. How are you? You can just sit right there, okay? Thank you. So I have a question for you. Have you ever been happy at the beginning of the day and then sad by the end of the day? No? No, take first is bubble, you know? That's good. But one of these days it'll probably happen, that you start out all happy and something happens in the day and it makes you sad by the end of the day. So that's all that stuff we read about today. That we started out, remember waving all the palms and everything? Because we were happy because Jesus the Messiah had come and was going into Jerusalem. And by the end of the day, everybody was sad. By the end of the week, everybody was sad because Jesus didn't do it the way they thought he should do it. But you know what the good news is? There's some good news. Is that just like you could start out the day happy and it ends sad, God tells us that a lot of things start out sad, but he's going to make sure it ends up happy. And that's what's going to happen on Easter Sunday. As sad as we are today and the other church services we're going to have this week, be happy on Easter Sunday. Okay? Thank you. Spontaneous celebration of life. Not on a white stallion, as on in legend, the conquering king, but on the foal of a donkey. The hosannas proclaim an emissary of peace. The Messiah King brings peace to a people, to a world from their God. We begin Holy Week with a story of great triumph in Revelation. God has declared peace and amnesty, not because it's impossible, but because it is possible. This story conveys the power of love and courage. It speaks of the capacity that deep compassion has to touch the hearts of others and to transform the world. If we read this story wisely, we will not create ideals from its message. Instead, we will try to discover if this same love and courage can be found within our own hearts and the ways in which we live out our own stories. We would do ourselves a great disservice to use the wisdom and the example in this story as a measure to judge our own imperfections and failings. Rather, this story can inspire us to see beyond our apparent frailties and doubts, to appreciate the great strength and love that lies within us. Each one of us will be called on to respond to hardship, sorrow, and loss. Each one of us will be profoundly touched by the pain and conflict that is a part of the human experience. Each one of us is destined for our own personal Holy Week. Our capacity to respond with the same love and courage that is expressed in this story is deepened by our willingness to honor the potential greatness of heart within each of us. It is the Palm Sunday story, a parade of human love and courage. There is a place within each of us that is the source of great fearlessness and selflessness. It is the place that inspires us to reach out a hand of comfort and support to a friend in need, to intervene to prevent the infliction of pain on another. It is the place within us that grieves at the pain in our world and rejoices in the joy and love that can be found. When we are vitally connected to our own hearts, we appreciate that we share with all living things the wish to be free, to live in peace. Fearlessness is born in our awareness of the fundamental connectedness of all of life. Remember that it is not just a saint who can forgive and thus make great sacrifice. Compassion and love do not need grand gestures and dramatic expression. Our opportunities for love and forgiveness and courage are more numerous than the days of our lives. Each time we respond, we act as a participant in the creation of a world of peace. Every heartfelt response is worthy, significant, can make a difference. Life is strewn with Palm Sundays in the face of Good Fridays. The greatness of our hearts lies in not demanding proof that our responses of care and love make a difference. The vastness of our love lies in not needing evidence of the impact of our care. Our faith in love itself sustains us. The richness of our caring nurtures us. In not asking for confirmation, approval, or reward for caring, we are free to live simply in the spirit of love and peace. Life is strewn with Palm Sundays in the face of Good Fridays. This story and what happens next speaks of one man's love and one man's faith, but it invites us all to look anew at our own lives. What in our lives now could be healed by forgiveness? What discord and division exists that could be reconciled by patience and love? What conflicts could be ended by tolerance and compassion? What opportunities do we have to truly make a difference? Life is strewn with Palm Sundays in the face of Good Fridays. Spontaneous celebration of life, not on a white stallion as in legend, conquering king, but on foal of a donkey. The hosannas proclaim an emissary of peace, and the Messiah King brings peace to a people and a world from their God. We begin Holy Week with a story of great triumph and revelation. God has declared peace and amnesty, not because it's impossible, but because it is possible. In the Palm Sunday story, peace meets fear. Love encounters hate. Hosanna palms stand in the shadow of the cross. In even the worst landscape of human darkness and difficulty, there shine beacons of light. They are not necessarily cast by particularly powerful or holy people who possess grand strategies for changing the world. They most often radiate from people like us, who in our intimate encounters with tragedy and injustice and terror have been transformed and have learned how to respond to the world around us with the simplicity and power of our love and compassion. There is no power greater than the power of love, no shadow that can withstand the power of compassion, no demon that can overwhelm the power of an open heart. This story stands as an example that can open our eyes to the possibilities of bringing light to our own shadows. So today we celebrate, and tomorrow we weep. Whether we are in positions of power or in poverty, we will be tested. We will be asked to summon the spirit of greatness, of compassion, of open-heartedness over and over and over again in our lives. Perhaps this is what we are here for, to learn this single lesson, to have an open heart. In the end, the strength we have to fall back on is not our credentials or our accomplishments or the ideals we have fought for and held, but our humanness itself. Our basic self underlies all our attainments and experiences. The fact is that we too, like the seasons and the sun and the moon and all living creatures, we are born to die. We awaken each morning and go to sleep each night. We eat and walk and feel in deep ways the mystery of being human. We hold within ourselves, too, an extraordinarily precious gift, our capability to choose to have an open heart. This is the blessing that allows us to make all other choices, to sense the possibilities open to us. It empowers us to learn and grow through life's tests, rather than be swallowed by them. The gift of our open heart means that we need not be driven by instincts of protectiveness and hostility, but instead we can find peace in our capacity for forgiveness and understanding. We have not yet plumbed the depths and possibilities of our own self. To affirm Palm Sunday in the face of Good Friday is to connect us with the heart of all life. It allows us to meet the tests that come with a greatness of heart. As you hear the passion stories in this week, reflect about the challenges of your life. Bring to mind the times you have been tested, and recall what brought you to these tests. Recall also what you brought to these tests. What it would be like to touch those moments, your moments, to be vulnerable, and through the ultimate honesty, to be strong and balanced in your heart. The truth of the matter is that on this side of the grave, all I have is Palm Sunday. I am honest and admit that I am vulnerable and oh so human. Then the best I can do is hold up Palm Sunday in the face of an ultimate Good Friday. I can choose to believe with my heart that Jesus came bringing peace, that resurrections are God's business. The Palm Sunday is all about a hope born in the human spirit, tested to the final degree on Good Friday, and the hope that it will be rescued by God one glorious morning. Jesus came, not on the white stallion, as in legend, the conquering king, but on the foal of a donkey, an emissary of peace. Amen.